Hey, guess who? Yeah, it's me. Caucus. Hey, guess who? Yeah, it's me. Caucus Smurf. Anyway,
In downtown Williamsburg, there was for years a radio show, associate store. It wasn't owned by radio. It was owned by, a private individual. In the residential neighborhoods down there. I've got all mine out here in a burn pile. But like I said, I'm on a transmission here that's what they call the co-op calls an alpha line. It's a 23 kV line, and it feeds several commercial accounts. And they keep this line running if at all possible. So, really lucky. Well, look, Rick, I'm going to bail out. Is this the frequency that you're normally on in the morning? Is it 22 or 23? 25 and 22, and two frequencies I'm using here. Yeah, I thought so. 84 JRX. I get up early in the morning, though. I'm on the 7238 with a rotten apple. I've been on them for years. Oh, about 4 years, 5 years, probably 5 years. 2000. Yeah, 5 years. I have a certificate for rotten apple certificate. And they're a good group of guys. Just excellent. Don down in Florida calls the net, WY5I, down in, I forgot, he's down on the east coast of Florida. Fort St. Lucie, I can't remember anything hardly anymore, but WY5I is called. So if you ever get up real early, come to 7238, they're a good group of guys there. Anyway, I've got it keyed down, and I'm going to say 73, and we'll catch up with you around this one from time to time, Rick. K4BGB, Myrtle Beach, KD4JRX, Waupun, North Carolina. 73, buddy. Okay, Rick, take care, man. And I'd like to send you a picture of some snow we had up there in the Lehigh Valley. We had one snowstorm after another. None of it melted. The first temperatures at night were around zero, and temperatures during the day in some cases didn't get above single digits. But, I mean, total accumulation when I look out at 25, 20% of the snow already on the ground. Crusty snow on a new patch of snow on top of that. It was crazy. I'm sure you saw pictures, and some of the media was really covering the area from Philly all the way over to the Poconos and Lehigh Valley. But anyway, I'll let you go. I think you have some things to do, and I got the Terminex man coming over in just a few minutes as well to spray for burrows. You never know, I'm not taking my house to the spring forward. Catch you later, Ray. Good talking to you, buddy. And maybe I'll catch you on the rotten KD4JRX here for you, too. I remember it. What did you say? That's right. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Take care. Careful when you get it. Let me put it to you this way. I think I have the menu in the, that I can get to from the service manual, but I haven't looked at it to see if I can do what you're talking about. But I will look at that, and maybe the next time we get together, I'll have an answer for you.
Okay, I just wondered, obviously with software involved in radios nowadays, things are set at the factory, and then you upload a new firmware, and it probably automatically makes an adjustment to that. I know I reread the article by the 84 OJ on the 9100, where he indicated, I believe, he could get the ALC overshoot down to no greater than 1.5 dB, or something to that effect. Do you recall reading that?
Yeah, I did. But like I said, I'll take a look into that. And by the way, to change your subject a little bit, I can't get over the nice change in your audio, Terry. With the settings the way you have them now, you sound very, very good. Doesn't he, Dick? Doesn't he sound for a really good audio this morning?
I told Terry it sounds weird on his newfangled rig. I like Terry on every other rig he has except the one he's using now. But it's so minor, and Roger likes it, Terry, so tell me to shut up. Go ahead, Terry.
Well, it wouldn't be hard for me to tell you to shut up. The other thing is, Dick, I think part of the problem is you tune your rig to my voice, I guess, the way how you like me to sound, versus tuning and being exactly on the frequency that I'm transmitting on, which is actually how I sound. And you sound like you're a little bit low, so I guess you got to take into consideration, Roger, he's listening to me on a different frequency.
Let me ask you this, Terry, now that you mention that. Have you changed your transmit frequency to match Dick's frequency?
No, I'm on 207, but I did have the RIP button pressed, but the RIP button while I was transmitting shouldn't have done anything.
All right. Because I went down about 20 hertz and you sound better.
Okay, right now I've got the RIP enabled, and the display says 207, but the RIP is minus 0.03, I think. Now this is with the RAC on. Let me find the button here. There it is. All right, now I'm going to press the RAC button, and the RAC is off. Did you hear a change in frequency? You shouldn't have.
No, I'm saying before you did all this button pushing, when I dropped in frequency about 20 to 30 hertz, that's, and I did that to better hear Dick, and didn't realize I was down there until you started talking about your RIT. Anyway, forget it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Keep going.
Okay, well, you guys are welcome to tune to whatever frequency you want to, but I'm transmitting on 207.00, over.
Okay, now, since you made that statement, how can you prove that?
I'll take ICOM's word for it.
That doesn't work. Every single radio that I've gotten from ICOM has been off frequency. The 7700 was off frequency. This one, when I got it, was off frequency quite a bit up on VHF. I don't think that ICOM allows the radio to warm up when they do that initial reference oscillator calibration.
How do you measure frequency, Roger?
Now, come on, Dick. Come on up back up to frequency.
I might want to tune up in frequency to make it sound better, but go ahead, Roger. How do you measure frequency when you said you buy the rigs and they're not on frequency?
Uh-oh. Do I want to open up a can of worms, Terry, or just basically answer his question?
Well, tell him what equipment you got. That's what he wants to know. What gear are you using, I think?
All right. Dick, I have a 10 megahertz reference oscillator, okay? And it is kept in check and very accurate it also has a GPS receiver incorporated in this 10 megahertz master oscillator. Okay, and it gets its error correction from the GPS satellites. Okay, and then what I have a Hewlett Packard frequency counter, a very good one. Used to belong to NASA, and they never lost a spaceship when they were using this. But so I can calibrate this frequency counter from that reference standard, and then this frequency counter then looks at my radio. So when I can read frequency down to a hertz or a tenth of a hertz, I think that I'm pretty close to being on frequency, Dick. Go ahead.
Your transceiver has a suppressed carrier. You just have a little bit of carrier leakage and measure that with the counter.
Now you're reading into it too deep, Dick. The radio has a reference oscillator, which is running on a fixed frequency that's running all the time. Even on receive, it's running. And that reference oscillator is what the whole radio is based on in determining frequency. And that's what's calibrated with the frequency counter, the reference oscillator frequency of the radio.
Oh, I see. Reference oscillator is probably a 10 megacycle crystal in your rig.
Yeah, for the 7700 it is, and I've actually used the 7700. I can go into the software and take the BNC connector on the back of the 7700, and I can plug my 10 meg reference into that BNC and use that as my reference oscillator instead of the internal 10 meg. But I can also, the frequency counter will read the 32 meg reference oscillator in this 9100. And before I did the work on it, I just did the other day, I recalibrated this radio based on 146 megahertz. And I was very pleased to find out that when I recaled and I could look at the 32 mega, it was only 6 hertz off frequency. So that's pretty close for not doing it the right way.
Yeah, well, with an LC oscillator, and part of it, like Terry and I had on our older wrench shop, there's a lot more to it than the reference oscillator. So I guess on a modern rig, the reference oscillator is the ultimate thing that sets the frequency, not an LC oscillator. Hey, I got a smart house question for you, Terry. You talked about a USB microphone. I don't know what that is. How about a motorcycle band? Go ahead, Terry.
Okay, let's see here. My wrist's acting weird here today. I'm going to have to get the book out. I pressed the button to pick you up on the wrist, and as soon as the button comes up, and then the display disappeared on me before I could grab the knob and turn it. So something's acting weird. Anyway, I think USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, but I could be wrong. Basically, it's just a cable that you can plug directly into the back. It's kind of sort of like the size of your telephone cord cable. Those modular plugs that plug into that newfangled telephone you got. It allows it to carry information and data and voltage all in one cord. So I can plug the microphone in to itself, and then plug the microphone in the computer. It powers up the microphone, and the microphone also will transmit the audio into the computer. And then I would plug in the computer through a USB cable from the computer USB out to my transceiver USB in, and it was accepting my audio, and through that jack, it kind of it allows guys to run those digital modes as well, besides audio mode. And I just thought I'd try it as an experiment. Other than that, I don't have a very high technical definition of what USB is, because that goes into the computer end of things as well. And I don't know if Roger knows more about that stuff. Do you, Roger?
I'm listening. No, not really. I don't know anymore. And I was paying attention to you, and I was going to ask you a question. My question to you, Terry, is when do you expect your new B2B?
Oh, I've got that already.
All right. Okay, and now I seem to remember. And you said it didn't work?
Yeah, you see, Dick, these cables come in different configurations. Just like, you could have for ham radio stuff, you could have a BNC connector on one end and a PL259 on the other. The USB has different configurations. They have an A and a B. They have a male and a female. So I ordered a USB double male cable. And I plug one end into the mic and one into the radio, and the microphone power indicator light did not come on. So that tells me that I'm not getting power on the USB port at the back of the radio, that it must be an input only connection versus
K1FFKBL162.2. Can't you put batteries in that box where that indicator is?
No, there is no batteries in the microphone. The microphone gets its power from the USB connection.
All right. I thought maybe at one time he told me that you could put batteries in that box. Okay, so no batteries, and the LED tells you when it's powered.
Yes, that is correct. So I guess what I was going to do now is buy a USB hub, a powered one, and I'm thinking that the power on the hub would allow me to connect the microphone into the powered hub, and then the output of the powered hub into the radio, and I should be able to run the microphone through the hub into the radio without the computer. But I wouldn't be able to adjust anything as far as the microphone goes, regarding treble and bass or whatever. But I haven't done anything or ordered any parts for that yet, and I don't even know if I could find something like that at a local store, like a computer store, or I don't even know if Radio Shack would have something like that. So that's what we're doing, Dick, is we're just experimenting with different ways of injecting audio into the radio, either directly with a microphone through a hub, or we've already got it to work by talking into a computer, and then the computer sends my audio into the radio. But I have to borrow my wife's laptop computer to do it, Richard, and she is leery of me destroying her computer with my RF. Over.
Boy, I don't know what a hub is. I finally found out what USB stands for. I got that up aside to just to be smart ass. And I don't know why you want to connect a microphone into a computer, and then the computer back to the microphone input jack to your transceiver. Is the computer supposed to process your audio before it chucks it back into the transceiver microphone input? Over.
Yeah, it allows you to tweak the frequency of the audio between the microphone and the transceiver. So there's a program I downloaded that has a built-in graphic equalizer that I can adjust the frequency of my voice while it's in the computer, and then when it gets into the radio, I can make, my treble higher, my bass lower, or anything in between. If I was so inclined to, I can add boost. I can do different things with it. It's just a way to play with your audio instead of, in your case, it's just whatever you sound like goes into your radio. In my case, I can make myself sound completely different by running it through an equalizer. or whatever the case may be. It's just something to play with, and it's not real expensive. The program was like $40. The microphone, I think, was $80. So, and I can use this microphone for other stuff as well. So I don't want to spend a ton of money like some folks do. They got racks and racks of gear that they process their audio through and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, or maybe hundreds of thousands. They spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on equipment externally, where nowadays you can pretty much do the same thing through a computer. In fact, those new radios, those software-defined radios, they do all that stuff for you too. But you have to have a computer to run the radio. So your computer goes on the fritz, you're off the air. AB2UE.
Go ahead, Roger.
I'm just here listening, basically. Well, I don't know. When you get a chance, Terry, maybe you'll find that one of the Radio Shack stores might have that. It sounds like something that that they might have. I don't know if you have any other computer stores around there. Another place that you may want to check is Staples. Staples normally has a pretty good. I know the one over here by me down in Civilization has a lot of stuff like that. I think that's where my wife got her. Oh boy, forget it. Anyway, she bought something from them that she needed there. So anyway, one of these days you'll come on the air with that powered microphone. You'll see the LED lit. I wonder if there's any way that you can go into that little box and bring out two wires. Since those two wires are in the box connected to the USB jack, why can't you just bring them out and power them?
What box are you talking about?
Your little red LED box that tells you that the box is powered externally. Why can't you go in there to the power leads on that USB-B jack and bring those wires out separately and put them on a power supply?
No, you're not. You must have misunderstood me. The microphone itself, this little light that I'm talking about, is built into the microphone. There's no box. You have the microphone and you plug a USB jack into the bottom of it, and the little light comes on the microphone. It's built right into the grill of the mic. You can see the little red light come on. So there is no separate box. It's just a microphone.
Oh boy. I got to change my memory battery. Here, I thought there was a separate box that went into. So now you're telling me that the microphone, the main body of the microphone has everything built in. What kind of connector does that have? To supply battery and okay, it's got the B connector. Okay, I think I'm all together now. This is KW2Q.
Look it up on the internet. Marshall MXL Pro -1B. It's a typical USB mic. It's just a microphone, and you just plug in. There's no external controls on the microphone. No knobs, no level controls, no nothing. It's just you plug the cable into the mic like you would any other microphone, and the microphone works. They don't even have an on and off switch, like most of these mics do, where there's no press the talk button or anything. It's just a microphone. You plug it in, it's on, and as long as you got power on your USB cable, it's powered up, and it's transmitting your voice immediately.
Marshall MXL, what else?
It's Marshall Mike X-Ray Lima Pro, as in Papa Romeo Oscar, -1 Bravo. That's the make and model number of the microphone, and it comes with a little tripod, and you just plug in the bottom of it, and you're on the air. It does have a headphone jack, but for some reason it don't work with the damn thing. If you call them and complain.
A headphone jack built into the microphone.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to hear yourself, you know, the actual microphone output through the headphone jack. So you're getting real-time audio out of the microphone with no latency or any other issues. But I think my wife's up now, so I can run the wetback and suck the water up down here. AB2UE.
All right. Go ahead, Dick. This is KW2Q.
Got a bottle ordered from the CO. Hey, in the meantime, how do you do an atomic clock there? I wonder if the manual says if you got a flickering display, that means that there's an atmospheric disturbance at 60 kilocycle apart, and that the data is not being valid for a moment. This is just a wag. I have no idea that maybe everything is fine, and there is atmospheric disturbances and you're being warned. I have no idea whether I'm on the right track. Go ahead, Walter.
Well, it has a little icon up in the upper right-hand corner. And the icon is an antenna. And then there's lines on top of that antenna, kind of curved lines. So by the amount of curved lines on top of the antenna, you can tell, number one, that there is a signal being received and how strong the signal is being received.
Right, but I thought maybe in addition if there's a kind of a selective fading, I have no idea. Was there anything in your instruction manual for the clock that warned of it going bananas? Or is it, as you think, there's something wrong with your clock and you don't know what it is? Over.
Now, there's nothing in the manual to warn you of that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the clock. And some days it gets bothered by the radio, and other days it doesn't. So I have no idea. It's got a mind of its own, and guess what? When I get done on the radio, the clock always comes back to the right time. So I don't bother it at all. It sits on the wall and does a great job.
Oh, I thought you said it went into gyrations when you weren't running your amateur radio gear at all.
No, it goes into gyrations sometimes when I do run the gear. But when I don't run the gear, it's absolutely fine, and it has the correct time right down to the second.
Oh, okay. You know how do you know it's locked in? You said it's down to the second. How do you know?
Because there is another icon that tells me that.
Oh, if you had a strong signal and this other light doesn't light, then it says, hey, we're not quite locked in yet. And then you wait a minute and then it is locked in. You know, Roger, guy says he had a wristwatch that works at 60 kilocycle, and he and I said, how the heck can you get a little, in a 1-inch square, can you get a 60 kilocycle antenna? So I went off by myself and computed all that on small loop antennas, looked up propagation noise, atmospheric noise at 60 kilocycles, and I figured, well, you can have a gain of minus 100 dB in your antenna and you're in good shape. However, in all my calculation, I had to use very narrow bandwidth to cut down the noise. we were still baffled, and I was trying to figure out why a wristwatch radio could work at 60 kilocycles. Go ahead, Roger.
I don't know. That's the frequency they picked because they knew it would get all the way across the country. Hey, Dick, can you make your radio go down about 100 hertz and come back on frequency?
How's that?
I don't know. I wasn't ready. I have to come down 100 hertz.
Oh, I thought I had it tuned down so that I was full on frequency. Yeah, well, they picked 60 kilocycle because there's a lot less ionospheric weirdness causing inaccurate timing sent out. This is of no interest to anybody if you want a time within a second or two, then the ticks and beeps at 10 megacycles WWV is good enough, but I think there's science projects that want one much better than 1 second, and they got it on the 60 kilocycle. Go ahead, Roger.
And just to make sure that everybody could hear them, I guess a while back they increased the power. So, I don't know. I think I told you this once before, but I'll tell you again. When I got my first atomic clock, and, I lived down in the valley here, I said to the guy at Radio Shack that I know, I said to him, I said, look, I live down in the valley. I don't know how well the signal is going to get into the valley. If it doesn't work, can I bring it back? And he said yes. And I said, okay, I'll buy it. And the signal gets into the valley very, very nicely.
No, you did not mention it, and I'm not at all surprised. What's a 1,000-foot hill here or there? Good old diffraction. No, I'm not surprised. I wonder if you can go in a bank vault. I think it wouldn't work inside a steel bank vault. Over.
I don't think so.
Are you back, Terry? I think Macho Man has a pretty strong CO.
Yeah, I think so. But I think he's upset because now he can't play with his new microphone because he needed that laptop. He can't bring his computer downstairs because it's a desktop, so he was relying on her laptop. Then she got a little bit concerned that maybe the RF was, doing things to her laptop. So he got told he couldn't use it anymore. I don't know. Gary needs to buy a computer to put down, put at his radio. And I do too. I don't have one here at the radio. So I'm working on getting one so I can buy one of those software-defined radios that has all that built-in mic equalization.
Well, I'll Terry's listening, but I do, Roger. Why is Terry monkeying up with this equalizer by a computer at all? I thought his 7200 rig had all kinds of knobs to make his audio sound different. What do you say, Roger?
No, it doesn't. I mean, I think his radio basically is like mine. On transmit, you've got bass and treble controls for your transmit audio, and that's about it. And with the computer, he's got much more to play with there. So, he was kind of looking forward to that. So the trade-off is now to power that microphone with a USB hub, a powered USB hub that'll supply the voltage required to operate the microphone element. But when he does that, he's not going to have the EQ, that the computer would do for him. So I'm anxiously awaiting to hear what that microphone sounds like without any external EQ. Go ahead.
I'm back.
All right. You get that all sucked up?
Yeah, I can hear you, except when I was running the wet vac. I was trying to determine is what was occurring. I know you can't see my setup, but I think I was getting a wicking, W-I-C-K-I-N-G effect, where you know how if you spill some water, the water tends to follow the path of the water that you spilled. If you spill some more or whatever, I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I think it was wicking upward, vertical wicking, if you will, and then causing it to leak out of the PVC fitting that I had. So my bottom end result here is I may have to get some glue and glue that last joint that I used as a slip together joint to stop the vertical wicking. And that should cure the problem. And maybe perhaps get a new element or filter, whatever they call it, for the humidifier, because they do break down over time. So anyway, house gets pretty dry without it. Then you start getting shocked with sparks flying off your fingertips. Anything to you?
Okay. Yeah, I, like I said, I drag mine out in the wintertime and kind of watch the humidity of what's going on. What do you normally keep your humidity level at?
Well, that's another problem. The humidistat doesn't work anymore. So what I do is I jumpered the wires, or bypass, I guess you would say, actually, the wires on the humidistat. So when the burner kicks on, the humidifier water flow is continuous until the burner shuts off, where before it would cycle based on the humidistat level. So as long as I'm not fogging up the windows, I guess I'm not over humidifying.
Okay. How long a cycle does the burner run for that this water is running?
Well, it depends on how long it takes the furnace to warm the house back up. I run a 1 degree deadband, if you will. So the way the thermostat works is it's set at 68. The temperature drops to 67. Of course, it lights the burner, and of course the burner runs until the thermostat is satisfied. So it drops to 67. It brings it up to 68. The burner shuts off. The blower continues to run, and typically you'll overshoot that point by about 1 degree. And when the blower shuts off, you'll be at 69, and then the cycle repeats itself. So the colder out it is, the longer it runs to bring it up 1 degree.
I see that overshoot on my water temperature gauge on the boiler. When it reaches the high limit to shut the boiler down, the temperature gauge continues to climb just a little bit, I guess, from the residual heat.
Hey, Terry, you got low humidity. Why don't you have your wife mop the floors every day?
This is why you're not married, Richard.
Give her a present for Mother's Day, a nice mop.
How about a rug shampooer?